Good afternoon, everyone. Coming to you live from San Antonio, Texas. It's the South Texas Capper. Today's show is about something a little bit different. I've been doing some different talks about what services do, the kind of moves they try and put on your bankroll. And so today I just really wanted to do a video with no picks, but simply a breakdown of everything that really happens. You have to understand that many of these services are advertising on YouTube, the back of sports magazines, word of mouth, and it's all over the world in many different languages. Whether you're watching here in America, Latin America, anywhere throughout the world, you're going to see these different kinds of services. Now, something I want to warn you about is just the kind of things that these services are doing to get your money and show you just a little bit of math and a little bit of technique, I guess you'd say, as to some of the things that they do. Now, many of you will call a service and the call will start out something like this. Hey, thanks for calling XYZ service. I'm Roger. How can I help you? And he'll go on there and he'll be like, hey, I'm Jim, Roger. I love to bet on sports. The guy will tell you, that's great to hear that. We love you betting on sports. What kind of games do you play? And you'll tell them you like MLB, NFL, maybe NBA. And they'll tell you, that's exactly the kind of games that we specialize in. And right there, they're trying to get the hook in you. And of course, he's going to ask you, so what kind of bettor are you? And you'll tell him something like, well, I like to play 100, 200 a game, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, depends on the kind of player that you are. And then from there, that's where they start out. Now he's going to ask you, oh, really, $100, $200 player, we're just getting you started, but I tell you what, we're going to build you into a kind of player where you're betting $1,000 a game. And you're thinking to yourself, is this guy going to give me a 5 times raise at my job between the end of this phone call and the picks that he gives me? Because right now I'm betting $100 to $200 a game, and he's talking about you betting $1,000 a game. So that should be a little bit of an indication right there. The next thing he'll ask you is, hey, how much is the most that your bookie will let you play? And what day do you get paid on? Now, why is this information any of his business? To start out with, why is it any of his business how much you're playing? He's running a service, he's charging you. He shouldn't care what you're playing, how much you're playing, or who you're playing it with. These are all tactics that they use to try and sell you more stuff. Now, of course, what they do is they tell you, oh, well, we have a $199 membership fee, something along that lines to get you started. Just go ahead, give me your credit card number, we'll get you signed up. And with our guarantee, you have to win money. And you're thinking to yourself, guarantee? How can this guy guarantee anything about sports when he's not out there shooting the ball? He's not out there taking shots. He doesn't know that LeBron James is going to get injured in the second quarter or that Steph Curry's going to twist his ankle late in the third. They have no way or no knowledge of those things. They're just hoping that things go in their direction. And that's how a lot of these services start to work out. Now, of course, you pay him the $199, and what does he have? He has your credit card number, he has your information, and the first thing he's going to tell you, hey, don't watch anybody else. You come directly to us. This is the service that you want to use. It's all a selling tactic. It never stops. Secondly, let's say they give you 2 of their premium plays or whatever they'd like to call those plays. And they have a good night and they win. And then the guy calls you first thing in the afternoon. Hey, I got 2 more great games for you today. But if last night you'd have just listened to me, maybe bet that 500 or 1,000 a game that I was talking to you about, you'd be up so much more money than just that 100 or 200 a game that you're playing. So I really think that you should bet a little bit more on tonight's games. And that's how this process starts. Next thing he'll be telling you is, you're paying $199 a week for our service fee. You know what we can do? Let me just get a small percentage now that you're going to be betting $600, $700, or $1,000 a game. Let me just get 25, 30% of that. You're making $700 a game. Before you were betting $100, $200, you have nothing to lose. Well, remember that the only thing that's being risked is the money in your pocket, not the money that the service is providing, because they're not providing anything but some information. And of course, that information has to be correct for you to get paid. Now, let's say a bad thing's happen. First day, 2 losers. Premium plays didn't come through. Guy calls you up, says, hey, we had a rough night, but you know what? This is a long-term process. It's not a sprint. What I need you to do tonight, I need you to grab your nuts and get out there and bet a little bit more. Let's double up on what we did yesterday so I can help get you moving and we can get you to that $1,000 a game real quick. Of course, it's day 6, day 7 into the service. Maybe they get you back to even and bam, there's that $199 recurring fee on your credit card. Of course, they sent you an email that told you that, but it's in that real small print at the bottom. So you're like, man, another $199, I'm stuck with this guy for another week. I might as well use him for another week. And those are the kind of tactics that these different kind of services try and use on you. Now, you know, I did a little explanation. I showed some math recently about what kind of things actually go on. So I'm going to kind of break it down again in this video for you. You know, originally, if you were to pay, say, $150 for a guaranteed day, guaranteed game, something like that, something that gives you a refund if you weren't to hit that game, well, let's just take a look. Say your service is pretty strong, and I know that hitting 63.4% is pretty strong. So you're betting $500 a game. You'd have won $16,500 in 1 year with this service. Now, of course, the 33 times 150 that you paid equals $4,950. Now, if you were to go a little bit further down here, that's 19 games that you lost to your bookie at $550 per game, and that leaves you $10,450 worth of losers. Now, you take those two numbers right there, you add that up, that's $15,400. Let me see, he won you $16,500. $15,400 leaves you with $1,100 and him with $4,950. And I really think that I'd rather be on the other side of that $4,950. Now, many of these services will tell you, hey, I got 5 guys working, 7 guys working. I got 2 ladies in the office. I got to get paid. So where do you think all that money that they're getting comes from? Well, let's do a little breakdown just to show you how expensive what they're telling you, if it was true, would really be. See, let's say you're the owner of the business. $75,000 isn't an outrageous amount of money to make. So you have 7 employees that you're talking about, all making $40,000 a year, $280,000. You got your rent, and I only put that at $1,000 per month for a small business, $12,000 per year. I put miscellaneous at $12,000 per year. Still have to have the internet, still have to have electricity, still have to push pen and papers. You look down here, that's $389,000, or 7 days a week, $1,065.75 per day. Excuse me. That's how much that service would actually have to generate just to keep the doors open. So that just lets you know exactly how hard this service would be. So many of these services that are telling you that they've got a team, they've got a group, they know all this information, they're really just solo cappers or doing stuff that doesn't really involve a bunch of money coming in. They're on their computers because all the information that they're getting is available to you. You can get the same information. You can go to Ken Palm, you can go to ESPN, you can find all the information that they have. Excuse me once again, folks. So all those things are important when you're trying to break down the decision of whether you want to get a service. Just look at the expense of everything and remember, let's try something a little bit different. Let's say you just went on your own. Well, if you just went on your own, things wouldn't be as bad as what you may think they are. You see, say you're not as good as a professional handicapper and you're only hitting 29 and 23. You'd still hit 55.7% of your games, which would be a great winning average. You'd win 14,500, you'd lose 12,650, and you would actually be $1,850 winner in a 52-week period, $750 more than you would have won using the service, and you wouldn't have to pay that $4,950 fee. These are all things that you should look at sports gambling, and remember that all these fees add up because that money is in your pocket. I hope this has been educational as I've tried to teach everything about gambling that I know. Please follow me and subscribe, and have a great day.